If we look back to the 17th of December 1903, where aviation pioneers, the Wright brothers, invented, built and flew the world's first successful aircraft, their feat, a 12-second flight covering only 37 metres. Let's fast forward to the 14th of November 2019, 116 years later, and the Australian airline Qantas has just completed the world's longest non-stop flight from London's Heathrow Airport to Sydney, Australia, flying a total of 19 hours and 19 minutes, covering 17,000 kilometres. A number of developments has led to this unbelievable shift of air travel, but there is only one that clearly stands out from the crowd, and specifically how this has impacted the role of pilots over the years: digital technology. We'll begin with the autopilot. It does what it says, it's an automated pilot. It means that just after takeoff, it is switched on, and just before landing, switched off. But we mustn't forget that the pilots need to input all the data, including the fuel, the flight routes, and all the passenger loads and cargo loads. All the autopilot does is it flies. So this means that in 1950s, when autopilot wasn't in existence, the pilots manually flew the aircraft. Whilst the autopilot hasn't necessarily changed the role of the pilot, it's significantly reduced the workload. But we must not forget how the potential for autopilot to not function properly has had subsequent results on people dying. For example, as can be seen in the most recent air disaster of the Boeing 737 MAX, where the technology failed. Enhanced performance has also been established through using algorithms to help calculate data and ensure that the route the aircraft takes is the most efficient and quickest way. The win-win situation for both society, the industry and the pilots themselves is managed through using flight management computers, as well as the recent introduction of controller-pilot data link communications, which has meant that communication with ground controllers, flight managers and pilots has significantly improved, enhancing both the safety of passengers as well as reducing the workload of the pilots. It has been shown through statistical analysis that the provision of communication and information to pilots during flight has made sure that air travel today is much safer than it has been before. Pilots don't necessarily need to read as much information as before because it's all done by computers, but should anything change during flight, the information can be provided through the new data links, meaning that there is a reduced workload on the pilots and improved safety for both the airline and the industry. In conclusion, we can see that air travel has been much more safer with the introduction of technology aiding the pilots in their role by